Welcome, everyone. Today's topic is how to successfully engage with homeowners and on your way for successful negotiations. So today we have the pleasure to have Cheryl Stewart with us tonight. She's one of the top wholesalers in the Chicagoland area. Not only does has she done local wholesale deals, but also nationwide, hundreds of them. So thank you, Cheryl, for joining us tonight. I greatly appreciate your time. So would you like to give a brief introduction about yourself? And we're ready. The floor is yours. Thank you very much, Cheryl.
No worries. Super excited to be here. Thank you so much for including me. My name is Cheryl Stewart. As Hugo said, I've had about 10 years now of experience with real estate. I started with wholesaling and I continue to wholesale this day. So like I said, just over 10 years. And I have gone from not only wholesaling, I fix and sell, I fix and rent. I have a whole bunch of properties of my own, as well as I'll take properties subject to the mortgage, I'll lease option them. My goal is to be as creative as I can to help solve the problems for all the sellers that are out there. There are so many that are in troublesome situations, and at this point I always tell people I don't need any more money, I don't need any more houses. I just enjoy the challenge and solving the sellers' issues and getting houses. I still hold houses. I don't even know how many states at this moment, but I still have houses nationwide and meet with sellers regularly. And Hugo and I have created a team of wholesalers within ChicagoDealVault that you'll probably hear about toward the end of the call or even throughout the call, where we'd love to have you guys, learn and join alongside and see what we can all do together. As he said, I've done hundreds of houses, plenty of them here in Chicagoland area, as well as throughout the nation. I'm sorry? Oh, line noise. All right, so I was told that tonight our goal is is that you, Hugo, or is that somebody else?
I believe it's somebody else, so we'll make sure that we mute them. Phil, can you please mute all of them except Cheryl? Okay, it's all good. Thank you.
They were talking to me.
Yeah, thank you.
One of the things, just so you guys know, and having done this now a little bit with Hugo, is I get really lonely. So in talking to myself, although my husband says I can talk to a wall, and sometimes on Zoom it feels like I'm doing that. Anytime you feel like saying hi in the chat or on video, I'm obviously very animated. I'll wave back. I just love to have people there. So feel free to friendly. I don't bite remotely. So I was told that we are to be focused on wholesaling here or meeting with the seller to turn it into contracts. And this is pretty fresh in my head, considering that this wholesaling team that we've created, most of them are new. And so we are very focused on that. There's the main things to getting there is, one, you need to understand that you've got to reach out to these people. Ideally, they reach back out to you if you miss them, but you have to market. That is the number one thing, is marketing. I don't care how you do it. I don't care where you do it, but you've got to be reaching out. Some of it's going to be networking. Some of it's going to be referrals. Some of it through ChicagoDealVault. There's a lot of great information as far as there's a lot of leads in there. There's a lot of lists in there, and you can find out whether or not there's equity. This is all stuff that I did not have a chance to have on my first or any of my deals till probably this last year. So you guys are going to be way ahead of me. There's lists. You can market with postcards. You can market if you're low budget. My first deal was driving for dollars, so that was always a bonus. And And then you can do, we were talking last night about if you take the Ziploc bag and a stone and a business card and throw it in there, or a little flyer, that's an inexpensive way to make sure everybody gets what you got. But you've got to find out how to get in front of your seller or by phone with your seller. That is going to be the first thing, and to determine their motivation, right? So depending on how they're calling you or you're calling them is going to be a lot of how you start. We have scripts for that. I don't know if everybody has access to them in DealVault, or if it's just our wholesaling team. But there's a lot of scripts and a lot of information that's going to be there. The thing that we stayed focused on is building rapport with your seller. That is the number one thing. I swear to you, it's almost like you are their counselor. Free therapy sessions to everybody, because they have a problem and you have to solve it, or you have to help them solve it. And sometimes when they first come out and tell you, it's not even exactly what they're telling you. You have to play detective. You have to understand what that means. And I refer to it a lot as like dating, all right? You don't just go, and now that's got to be a totally weird thing with Zoom. And sorry, I'll turn my phone off. Sorry about that. With Zoom and all the social media, I haven't dated in a long time. I've been married for, I should know this, right? I've been married for 18 years and I have 2 kids and a bunch of animals. But, you know, so I haven't dated in this world. I'm going to be dealing with my daughter doing that, I guess, soon. But you don't just jump right into a major date. You don't just jump right into kissing or any physical activity. It takes time. You have to get to know one another. You have to build rapport. And I believe that as either wholesalers or agents or anyone trying to get a contract, sometimes what happens is we're so focused on getting the contract and playing with the numbers that we forget that we're human and we're talking to other humans. We need to be people. We need to listen and really understand what the seller wants and what the seller needs and what their goals are. We spent a lot of time, a full, couple hour phone call just on building rapport and what that means and how to do it. So I'm not sure if we're in, and Hugo, you can tell me if it matters. Are we looking at seller phone calls, or are we looking at in-person seller meetings to your seller?
Hope you had a good day. Go ahead. All right.
Hey, Richard, you might want to mute yourself. Hey, Hugo, does it matter to you? Are we talking about, I want to make sure I get your goals met here. Are we doing phone calls for sellers? Or are we doing in-person meetings, or both? What are we doing? I lost Hugo. All righty. Well, whatever.
Sorry, Cheryl. I hear you now.
Were we doing, you want the phone calls with the sellers, or in-person meeting, or both, or we don't care? What's the story?
It's up to you. It's up to you. You can role play. So whatever format you would prefer.
Well, I would say, I want to definitely give you guys a high-level overview of what it looks like, but I will tell you the feedback from our calls the past couple of weeks, or at least in my experience, is that when we all talked about deals, real live situations that we were in the midst of, and we had a next action step, and then everybody could benefit from what happens. Every deal is going to be completely different. The house is different. The situation is different. So there's always a good guideline that you should have with a script. Because what happens is we find out when we get in front of that seller, if it's not like totally second nature and you're not doing it all the time, you go back to getting so focused on the contract and the numbers that you lose that rapport. And I'm going to tell you the number of times that I've spoken to a seller by phone or in person, and we don't even talk numbers. We don't even talk about the house. We talk about everything but. And that's okay. It doesn't matter. In fact, that's actually better, because there are two main decisions that everyone has to make when they're selling their house. One is, are they really selling their house? They say they are, but they may not be terribly motivated. So you have to determine, are they selling their house, and if and when, right? And then how we're going to get it done. But their other decision is, how are you going to make them sell it to you or list it with you if you're an agent and you're looking to do that. So when you build rapport and you spend that time, and you're not even talking numbers and you're not even talking about the house, there's no option. When it comes, you become their friend, right? You're their counselor. So when that happens, they're going to list with you. They're going to sell to you. They don't want to work with anybody else. That's just how it goes. So I would say you have to find a way to connect with these people, and you have to do it quickly, especially by phone, or Zoom if you're doing that. You have to find something, whether it's something if you're visiting and you see it in the house, you can connect, something that you can connect based on a personal experience or something they said. You know, I hate to do it this way, but if somebody inherited the house recently and they said, you know, so-and-so passed away and left me the house. I mean, some of you may be able to connect with them saying, yeah, that's so hard. I had to do that last year, and this is what happened to me. And this is how we bond, and this is how we build a rapport with one another. We do have to probably know how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, when's the last time you replaced this, what kind of, what kind of things have you done since you've been here? You have to listen to them, take pride in it, and you have to be respectful. It is so hard sometimes to not walk in and look at someone's house is destroyed, and you kind of wonder, how are they living like that? But you can't say anything. You have to find something positive. But we will use that information to decrease the numbers or to make it realistic for where we're going at it. Do you guys have? Can you tell me from where you guys are at, or either in the chat, or if you want to come on video, microphone, whatever makes you happy? Do you want to tell me if you're newer, if you've done something, if you're looking to list or wholesale or fix and flip something, so that I can help guide you on where these sellers are, or if somebody wants to share a story, something we can help with? Hugo, you got a shy bunch. Oh, somebody's coming.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Wayne.
Hi, Wayne.
Yeah, I am brand new to all of this here, and any webinar
Welcome.
I'm able to get a hold of, I check it out for all the information. I'm a YouTube University almost graduate by now, as much as I'm on YouTube. So I'm in Chicago, as I'm pretty sure you might know. And my thing is, the way I understand it is that you can only do one wholesale, per 12 months in Illinois. So doing yeah, go ahead. What you about to say? Two. Oh, okay.
License. It's considered, wholesaling is considered a licensed activity now.
Right.
So you can do 2 within 12 months without your license. There are some ways to dance around that. If you're, you're so cute. There are some ways to dance around that. If you're purchasing it on your own, it doesn't matter if you're on title for 30 seconds or 3 years.
Okay.
That's not considered wholesaling. But if you're looking at assigning contracts, or you've got to be, if you are marketing or how you're marketing, then you definitely want to be careful, because yes, you can be fined $25,000
Right.
per each one. So the other way to solve that is to go ahead and get your license. I just did it recently. Hugo is kind enough to hold my license. That's also one of the things I'm sure he'll offer to at least those that are on our wholesaling team. I don't know if that's open to everyone, so I'm not gonna, but those that are on our wholesaling team, he is open to holding their license. So then I help do the training on that wholesaling team, so I know that. So he does the license, and then we can help you out. But I want you, Wayne, not just to be a YouTube graduate. I want you to be a take action dude, because that's the only way it works.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like I'm getting, at least I believe I'm getting all the information that I need in order to, start doing something. Because truthfully, I don't want to start with wholesaling, but if that's the way I would have to start, then I mean, I'll be fine with that. But I actually want to start, doing deals, or maybe, doing a JV to get just used to the process, to know the ins and outs of doing everything, so I can get experience in that.
So that's definitely a good goal, because here's the thing. Most people, if they don't have funds or they don't have the know-how, they start with JV or they start with wholesale, right? The
Right.
reason being, you don't typically need your own money. You can get paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, oh, and thank you guys. I see people in the chat now. Yay! I'll tell you about my first deal, Wayne. I was broke as broke can be in 2010. It was in May, and I was driving for dollars. My first house that I flipped was in North Chicago. It was somebody had bought it on auction, I think, and it was supposed to be their first project. By the way, this is a pretty common way that you can get a house. If somebody doesn't touch it in 6 months, they're not touching it.
Right.
They were sitting on it for a while, and they, I had mailed like 40 postcards or something. That's all I had. I kind of printed them, hand wrote them myself. You have no idea. Put the postcard stamp on and sent it out. They called me, and I listened. And I mean, I know it sounds boring to some of you guys, and trust me, I didn't know what else to do, but I listened. And then this was one of those unique ones. It was a one-call close. I met them out at the property. I went through the contract. This was the first time I had ever gone through the contract. I had no idea what to do. Almost peed my pants. But you laugh. I ain't kidding.
I get it. I understand.
So here I am. We're sitting on the floor of this house, and I tell everybody, part of the reason I just told you to take action, right? Because I took action, and I told everybody, I'm honest about it. Looking back, I should not have paid more than $25,000 for that house, but I paid $35,000. I didn't know any better. I didn't care, right? And it worked. It got paid. So sometimes you just go, right?
Okay.
So sitting on the floor, we're filling out this contract, and we start putting down $35,000, and we put cash. And the reason I'm about to pee in my pants is because then it says earnest money. And I'm like, I ain't got nothing to put down here for earnest money. So I looked at the girl and I said, oh, you know what? I didn't bring any money. And I know that I need to make a contract valid by putting money down. So I said, hey, do you have $1? And so she gave me, she goes in her purse, grabs $1, throws it at me. And I go, okay, here. And I handed it back to her, and I wrote $1 earnest money on the contract.
Right.
They're thinking in my head going, oh my God, I had to borrow $1 for earnest money, and you think I can pay you $35,000 for this house? I don't know what they were smoking, but we kept going. So it was kind of fun. So we're going through the contract, and we get to this one part, and she goes, so what happens if you don't perform? And I looked her dead in the eye, and I had no idea. So I said, that's a good question. I don't know. I've never not performed before. I've never performed before either, but hey, she didn't need to know that. So she's like, okay. And we moved on. So Then I got it under contract. I sold it. I had a ton of people look. I'd sold it in under 48 hours. I had it under contract to sell at 43. So I double closed on it and made close to $8,000. The was obviously in my in the closing costs. But then once you get the bug, like I was telling everybody else, once you get the bug, 2 weeks later, I closed on 3 deals, clearing 20 grand. So once you go, you got to get going. And that's the problem that a lot of people have when they're wholesaling or listing or whatever it is. If you're not constantly marketing and you're not constantly meeting with sellers, you're going to do that ebb and flow, right? You're going to go up and down with deals. You're going to have 1 month, 4 deals like that, and then the next month, nothing.
Right.
So you got to stay on it. So I have some people here. Look at you guys. I'm just trying to read. So we have some new people. We have some people looking multi-units. That's good right now. More doors, more money. Buying is investment. So we have a buyer. We have an agent. Let's see here. Chicago. All right. So we're in Chicago. It's like, I suspect everybody's local because of DealVault, right? New agent. Cool. Connecting with owners. So it looks like the big thing is you guys want to chat about the owners. Yes, Thomas, come on, join. Wayne, was there something? So you're saying you're new. Was there something, because you were commenting? Is there any more that you wanted to share?
No, that's about it. Just as I'm just trying to take advantage of all these different webinars and networking with folks that are already doing the business, so I can start rubbing shoulders with some people, so I can see how everything is done and start doing it myself eventually, of course, on my own.
Well, you picked the right group. This is the place to be.
I am definitely with you on that.
And like I said, I'm sure for those of you that are interested in spending more time with me and Hugo and those that are trying to do it, you'll probably want to be a part of not only ChicagoDealVault, but maybe our wholesaling team. Thomas, come on, join the chat. Say hello.
Hey, Cheryl, how are you?
Good.
Okay, so I don't have this deal yet, but I found a house today. I found a house.
Yay.
It's owned by it's being sold by the owner. I'm looking for how much it's worth right now. I'm working on it. I just don't know what to do next. So
Found
I've
that
got
house like you were driving, you marketed.
Yeah, I was driving for dollars, right?
Best way to go.
Yes, exactly. I'm trying to find the ARV right now. I'm trying to figure out what the ARV is so I can calculate how much my offer is going to be, because I'm planning to find all of that stuff tonight and hopefully give the owner a call tomorrow and negotiate this thing, build rapport and get this thing executed. But I'm nervous for tomorrow because I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know how I'm gonna do this.
It's okay. I told you, I almost peed in my pants.
Yeah.
I had to borrow $1, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And did I tell you that on my first deal, they spelled my name on the checks wrong, but they still cashed, so it was okay.
Oh, okay.
So here's the thing. The reason that you're stressed out, one, it's new, right?
Yep.
You're under the impression that you think you have to be perfect. You don't. Like I said, I got that deal under contract way too high, and it still worked. We right now are in a seller's market. You are going to be buying probably higher than you would buy any other time. Shortly after all this, when the market crashes, you're going to be buying them super cheap, okay?
Yep.
So you're not going to be able to nail the numbers right now. And that's what I'm saying. You can't stress out about it. Everyone wants to know the numbers, feel the numbers, and even the sellers are going to sit there and say, well, what are you going to offer me? What are you going to offer me? What are you going to offer me? What's it matter?
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Because you need to understand what those people want and what they need. At the end of the day, what's it matter what the house is worth and what the number is if they're only looking for a certain number in their pocket? We were talking last night, someone had a deal that they said they were trying to get $5,000 over and above what was left on their reverse mortgage, and they had some liens and they had some other things. So if you can figure out, give them $5,000 in their pocket, what does it matter if you're giving them $100,000, $200,000, $1, whatever, right?
Yep.
That's the thing you got to keep in mind. So you want to focus on the end goal, always on the end. And yeah, build rapport, sit there and understand, and you're going to start learning where they're going with it. They're going to tell you, trust me, in the middle of all that rapport building, they're going to tell you how they got the house, how long they've had the house. They're going to tell you what they've done or haven't done in the house, what needs to be repaired in the house.
Okay.
Then
So what?
you're going to start learning, what do they have left on the mortgage, or do they have back tax or whatever? And then what are they trying to do? At the end of the day, the numbers are the numbers, or as I call it, the math is the math, right? There's nothing you can do about the math. The house is going to be worth what it's going to worth, right? What happens if they tell you they want $100,000 and you laugh at them? And you're like, you can want $100,000. Your house isn't even worth $50,000. Is there a way that you can find a solution for them? Because that's what's going to matter.
Okay, I got
Do you
it.
see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it will take a lot of stress and a lot of pressure off you and everyone else here if you focus on the person and finding a solution. No one says you got to go racing in there and giving an offer and getting it under contract. And while I love when it works that way, it's not as
Yeah.
all of us would appreciate. I have one, I'm in the process of getting under contract in Morton Grove. She called off one of my signs. So for those of you that drive around and you see those big yellow signs with hot pink writing that say Cheryl buys houses, hi, I'm Cheryl. So,
Hi, Cheryl.
right? So for those that have called off those signs, and I know just about all the people that put out those signs, like we all know each other, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, it's nice when they call off a sign, you think they're motivated. And yeah, I want to sell my house. Can you give me an offer? How's this process work, right? Those are going to be common questions that you got to answer.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go and you talk to them, trust, they don't even care. You know, I was laughing. There was a guy, totally to derail, but it'll make sense, right? So my husband's a dentist, and I've been at his office sometimes helping out, and I'll train people or whatever. There was someone that called the other day, and it's the same thing. Our goal is to convert those calls to patients, to convert them to appointments, right? And you get people like anything else that price shop or do whatever. The guy called, and he was asking what the cost was for a cleaning. And typically, we're not very friendly about giving prices by phone. Well, he got me. And I'm like, you know, so tell me, I said, are you looking for a routine visit? You know, or is something bothering you? Turns out the guy didn't even want a cleaning, didn't need a cleaning. Why was he asking me for the price of a cleaning? He was going to get dentures. But he thought by comparing prices of cleanings at a cash rate when he had insurance that he would find out what the cheapest office was, right?
Wow.
Well, that makes sense, right? But that's
That
how
does make sense.
are too. They want you to give them an offer and they want you to give them a number, but they don't even really know what that means. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's what I'm saying.
Makes perfect sense.
What's it mean? And here in Chicagoland, where our taxes suck, can I say that again? They suck, right? Our closing costs are more expensive here than pretty much anywhere. Here in Chicagoland, we use agents we use attorneys, and people trust them more than anyone. Why? I'm not 100% sure. It drives up the cost. I'm an agent now too, right? And yes, license law says you got to do what's right for them. But you know what? Not all agents do. Most of them, the first thing when a lot of agents walk in, and I'm hopefully not offending anybody on this call. I'm not picking on you. I don't know you from anybody if you're an agent. But a lot of agents out there, they'll walk in these houses and they'll be like, okay, well, you got to clean all this stuff out. You got to fix this. You got to do that. Well, this person's going to put that money into the property because that's what they're being told, right? And they might get a higher number, but what's it do? It gets an agent a higher commission. It's the person's not getting any more money for that house. If they have to put $5,000 in and they get, even $5,000 back, they actually net less money, right? So
Right.
you really have to have conversations with these people about what these numbers mean and how it's going to meet their goals. At the end of the day, those ones that when you offer those, what do people say, those low ball offers? Is it really a low ball offer? It's a number that makes sense.
It's a realistic number, yeah.
It is a realistic number, but it doesn't compare to the number that they traditionally hear when it's on the market. Because when it's on the market, then they have, what is it? You have your, you go from your listing price to your under contract price to then you have your, the agent's commissions, and you have all your closing costs. You have the survey, the inspection, the appraisal, and all those times that you can, the deal can fall through, and I call it the rigmarole is my nice word, for the next 3-4 months. I'm selling a house right now that I rehabbed in Wonder Lake. It's, I bought it, rehabbed it quickly, and I kid you not, I am on my 3rd contract, right? They fall through for finance for whatever reason. So by the time you go through, that's how I tell people, I can explain this because I go through it on the back end. And somewhere in there, I'm going to need a little bit of profit. I don't work free, but I work cheap. So, I need a little bit of room and holding costs, and we got to plan for what's coming next, right? Which is when the market crashes. So we got to plan for all these things. So if you understand that that's not a lowball number, right? You just have to understand where the number comes from. And to me, it's more a net number without the rigmarole, right? So that's what I have to convince them of the numbers. And it is a big conversation. It's not, look, how long did I ramble on about it, right? And I'm doing a high level overview. I didn't talk to you about how I get through those numbers and do that because I don't think I have time on this call, right? I spent, we were talking the other night, I spent, I was telling you the Morton Grove property, she called on my bandit sign back in May. So that one's been 6, it'll be 7 months at least before I get it under contract. And they're not looking at moving until somewhere in the spring, they said. So it's going to be sitting for a while, right? So there's motivated, not motivated, right? And then this one the other day when he called, I think he was a referral. I don't know. He called, he talked at me for an hour and a half, right? And we barely talked about the house and numbers. He told me what he wanted. I kind of chuckled. But I'm like, well, let's talk about it. We'll see what happens. And then, but I never offered anything. I went over to his house. I was there for, I'm not kidding you, 3.5 hours. Just listening. And if we talked about the house outside of the tour, if we talked about 15 minutes, that I'm telling you, that's a lot. And I came home smelling like smoke from a non-smoker. That's right, not good. They only made me shower before I could talk to them. So when I say build rapport, maybe I'm different than the average, but again, I look at it as there's 2 decisions. One, to sell the house, and then I have to get them to sell it to me. And that's my job, just like in the dental office, to convert them to appointments. In this case, I need to convert them to sell to me, or in some of these agents' cases, list with me, right? And what makes you different? What makes you stand out? Right? So you have to be able to build rapport and then sell to their end goal.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. So how would you, how would you go like about it? What would you recommend for me? Like, how do I start building rapport? How do I start? Like, what do I ask?
Now, do you have an appointment set? Or is this going to be a first call?
No, it's gonna be the first call.
But like you haven't reached out or spoken to them, you're not going to the house?
Not yet. I saw the house. I saw the sign. I took a picture. Took a picture of the house, everything, and now I'm just like, okay, what do I do next?
So are you planning on door knocking?
Well, I was planning on calling.
Okay, so you found the number?
Yeah. The number was on the sign. It said selling by owner. It said a phone, and then it had a phone number written on it too. So
Okay, so you're planning on calling the owner.
yes.
All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to call the owner and hope that they answer, all right? Because there's a chance that they're gonna call back, and there's a chance that you're not. And what do you want to say to them to start off, right? It's probably as simple as, hey, my name's Thomas, and I'm calling about the house that you have for sale, right?
Right.
It's pretty easy to start.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
say, can you tell me about the house and what you're looking for?
Okay.
Let him spill his guts, or her. Do we know? I don't know if it's a guy or a girl.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, let them spill their guts. I mean, that's really,
Okay.
let them spill their
That's a good start. Yeah. Yep.
And then
Makes sense.
there's always, tell me more.
Oh yeah. Tell me more. Yes.
And and we talked last night a lot about the power of the pause. I caution you and anyone else about, I tell people, I never call and say, hi, how are you? You can consider me mean, but
Okay.
I just say, hi, this is Cheryl calling with whichever company I decide I'm calling with, right? Hi, this is Cheryl. I was calling about, I drove by and saw a sign, something about you're selling a house. Can you tell me about that? Right? I don't say, hi, how are you? Because I don't care.
Yes. It is. Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. Even
Well,
though
I
it sounds
do.
mean, if
It's not that I don't care. I say that jokingly, I swear. But
yeah,
here's the thing, like, as we talked about last night, it's one, you don't want to catch them on a bad day. You want to have a positive experience, right? Number one. And number two, as soon as you say, hi, how are you? They think it's a sales call. Their guard goes up and you lost. You're done.
wow, smart.
And it doesn't matter if you're an agent and looking to list it. Doesn't matter if you're a buyer or a wholesaler or what you are, who you are. I mean, I've been in sales so I've been doing this for about 10 years. I was in 12 years, I think, in the corporate world for sales. Not once did I ask somebody how they're doing. It was always part of my training.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Cheryl, with whatever company I'm calling today because otherwise you get hung up on. At least this way you get out your purpose, don't you think?
Yes. Yes. I couldn't agree more. It's very true.
So, but that's the thing, Thomas. You can't guide it. Have a conversation. Be human. See what
Okay.
see where he's at. See what he wants. Find out what you can about him personally, why he's selling it, what his goals are for afterwards. Meaning, how much money is he looking to get out of it? Like I said, does he have a mortgage? If he had unlimited funds, what would he fix to put it on the market? What would he fix to get
Yeah.
top dollar? Right? You can ask all
Mm-hmm.
those questions, and then, hey, if I handed you a check, at the end for whatever it is that you want, what would you do with it? Right?
Right.
What would you do? Because you want to get them thinking about that. That gets them to sell, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
You say, hey, so you want 50 grand when all this is said and done. What are you going to do with that? I'm curious. So you get a check for 50 grand. We close down your house, and now what? Oh, well, I'm going to, pay this off, and I'm going to get a second house over here, and I'm going to move over here. That sounds great. Why are you moving over there? Right? Now we're back to finding out about them, because now you're getting all that ammunition, all that information for you to say, hey, so, you need 50 grand so we can get you that second house in Tennessee, right? And that pays for everything. When do you need that by? Right?
So smart. Yeah.
But you gotta be focused on them. And I would tell you that is the number one thing that people miss. You don't matter. You don't matter. The house doesn't matter. The numbers don't matter. It is all about them. I have
Wow.
someone that sent me a personal question. Let me see. I don't know if I'm supposed to read it out loud, so I'm going to try and, I'm not sure if it's on a specific house because somebody's mic isn't working. So Thomas, do you feel comfortable? I think at the end of that call, after you've found out everything else you need to know, I would end it, say, hey, you gave me a lot of information. I didn't know if I was going to get a hold of you today. Let me take a little, second and look closer at this and see what I can do for you and what kind of solution I can come up with. No one says you have to know everything and give it to them right there, right? And then you can take your time to regroup. And I don't know what support you have around you or that Hugo offers, with ChicagoDealVault. I only know about the wholesaling team. So we'll bring Hugo on and have him tell us that. The person that sent me a message is admin. So I don't know who that is, but if you want to tell me your name and if I'm supposed to read this out loud. But Thomas, I think you have a good plan and you're going to be able to get where you want to go with that. But I would say quit stressing about the numbers, quit stressing about the house and its ARV and everything else, and focus on the person, and you're good to go.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. Appreciate
No
it.
worries.
That was very, very helpful. Like it did take a lot of stress out from my shoulders because I was overthinking it, and
I'm telling you,
sounds a lot more simpler now.
I would have walked, like now, I've told everybody I wouldn't have done that first deal I did. I would never do it because I wouldn't have gotten it for 25. I would have walked away. So sometimes just go and put it under contract and play with it and see what people are paying stupid money right now. It's a seller's market, right? Just get it and go and see what you can do with it. And if you're wholesaling, you have an out clause, so you can always renegotiate if you have to.
Yeah, that was so helpful. Thank you so much, Jerry.
No worries. I'm looking to possibly change the basement. What are all the possible that's a big question. I might have to take that separately. So this is kind of a rehab question, not really talking to the seller, which I think I'm supposed to stay focused on. So I'm looking to possibly change the basement, my condo where I live, to make it another unit to rent. I'm wondering all the possible costs involved. So there's a lot there. So I don't know how I'm going to answer that. When Hugo comes back on, I can see if I can help a little bit there. Just so you guys know, I know one of the things that I don't do it to brag. I actually don't talk about it a lot, but they were impressed by. So just so you guys know where I come from, I've done deals as low as, like, on a wholesale, I made like $500 and $1,000. But my biggest one, and what apparently people were super excited about, is I've done a 6-figure wholesale here in the Chicagoland area. I double closed, obviously, and got 155. So I thought that would be good for you to know. As far as talking to sellers, I think Hugo will kill me if I go much longer because, like, I'm sure I'm almost over again. Is there somebody else that has a question or wants a scenario or something to deal with? Did I answer a good chunk of your guys' questions? Is there something more I can help with? This one's a quiet bunch, Hugo.
Yeah, right?
These guys are quiet. Is there something more you wanted me to address, Hugo?
I think you've done a great job. Can we do a quick role play just to get a sense of what it looks like when you talk to the owners?
Sure. Do we want to play, hey, Thomas, you want to come back on and play? Get you a little practice?
Yes, of course. I'm here.
You're a brave guy.
I'm determined. I want to do this. I actually, this is something I've been wanting to do for a while, but my parents actually own a business and I help them as much as I can. And I have my own job. So I have a day job, I help them, and I'm just so busy all the time. And I've been having like a lot of extra time just because of the pandemic and just because of how slow it gets, these days. So it's something that that I'm really trying to get into now. So I'm ready. I'm doing whatever I can.
All right, so I'm going to call you. I don't know anything about this house, so that'll be a lot of fun. What city is this house in? At least let me play with that.
It's in Villa Park in Chicago.
Oh, okay, cool. I like them.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, so Thomas, you're my seller, so you get to throw anything you want at me. So it'll be a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm calling you. So you answered the phone. Hey, Thomas, this is Cheryl. I was calling. I drove by the other day and I saw a sign about you're selling your house. Is now a good time to chat?
Yes, of course.
Awesome. Great. So I, was driving pretty fast. I'm kind of bad like that. So tell me about it. What are you looking to do?
So I'm looking to sell the house. I'm behind on my mortgage. I'm on a foreclosure. I want to sell the house quick, and I just want to get as much as I can as fast as possible.
Sounds like a lot. So if I heard you correctly, you said you're behind on your mortgage?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been behind?
A few months now.
Well, Thomas, you sound like a good guy. Something must have happened. What put you there?
Well, the pandemic, everything that's going on now, it really put a lot of problems with my job, and I haven't been able to make my payments, so I'm kind of struggling.
That's a bummer. What are you going to do?
Well, this was my last option, so now I'm just looking to sell my house to get, a few bucks and, get going again.
How long do you have?
Not very long.
So where are you going to go?
I was hoping to live with my brother, and maybe he can help me out, but obviously I'm gonna have to pay him, and like I said, I'm struggling with my job right now, so I need cash.
Yeah. What are you doing at your job? I mean, the pandemic's affected like everybody in so many ways. What do you do at your job?
So I'm a chef at a restaurant, and since we closed dine-in. Not a lot of people are willing to go out and buy food. So yeah, that's why my job's really cut my hours. So I'm really struggling to get hours to work. Yeah.
So are you looking at staying in the same industry or getting more hours or?
No, probably not, because I've realized that the food industry, restaurant industry is, can really be, you know, can be taken down easily. So maybe retail, maybe something different. I don't know. We'll see.
What restaurant is it?
Uh, Pin strips, the
Pinstripes?
Notebook Mall. Yep.
I I was looking, I had my daughter's been to some events there. We were looking at having an event over there.
Oh, wow.
Chef for the events?
Yes, I have for a few, but obviously we're not hosting any events. We haven't been for a while, so it's kind of a bummer.
It
Haven't
has
been in a while, yeah.
been such a weird time. So you guys see how much time I've spent with him? We haven't talked about the house at all. I don't care.
Mhm.
We're just having a conversation.
Wow, yes.
so here and here I'm trying not to focus on the bad stuff. It's like, all right, and now I'm gonna relate with him about pinstripes, because I found somewhere, and I don't know a lot about the restaurant industry other than I waited tables for 7 years. So I had to wait and find something I could relate to him with, right? So now after all, there's come a point that we can't really talk about his restaurant anymore, and we're going to go back and say, all right, so it sounds like you're having trouble with your job. That so sucks. It put you behind on your mortgage, and you need to get out. Is that correct, Thomas?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So there are different ways that we can buy a house. You need to get out fast. What exactly do you need in your pocket for you to be able to move on? If you move to your brother's and he helps you out, see how I already knew where he was going, right? We already had the plan. So now I'm focusing on where he's going and what he's doing, because I got to put his mind there to make him sell me this house, right? So
Yep.
what's it going to take, Thomas? What do you need for us to get your house? Because if you're trying to go fast, we got to get your house. We got to get you to your brother's. What do you need in your pocket?
At least 50 grand.
Wow. 50 grand. So how far behind did you say you were? Couple months?
Few months, yes.
Okay. Well, now I would have hoped that I would have found in this conversation what that meant, like how much behind and, how much equity he had to decide if 50 grand was going to work. Right? So that's where some of that's going to come in. And that's why, Thomas, I tell you to end your phone call and just saying, I need to look into some things to see how I can help. But ultimately, look, at the end of that, and now for me, I got a bunch of ways that I can buy a house, and now I can list a house, right? Because now I'm licensed too. So I'm gonna give you options. Thomas, if I list your house, right, you're gonna get the highest number. What you're probably gonna get in your pocket, I'd break it down for them. Here's how it's gonna work. Here's how the process is gonna go. It might not meet your goals at this point because that might take too long. Like I said, I'm on my 3rd contract. It's been 6 months. It's crazy. That never happens. And I'm hearing that's very common right now with FHA loans and whatever. And this one's conventional, the 3rd one. So then I would say, I would like to buy your house, right? And now, again, I told you at the beginning, I'm the most creative one out there. So to get them the most money, I might try some different ways, like terms or making up the back payments and taking it subject to the mortgage if they don't have equity. But basically, I would probably tell them, look, I can offer you this on a cash basis. The number might sound a little lower, but it's basically that net number. And I would tell them that you have to exchange basically on a cash basis, you're going to have to exchange some of your equity for the speed and convenience of getting this done. So either you're going to wait a little longer to get the number you want. And in this case, for poor Thomas, dude, if you wait, what are you getting out of this? Because it sounds like if you wait, you're already behind. You already told me you didn't have that long. So they're going to foreclose on you. So what's your option? You have a choice. You can either go with me or you're just going to lose it and get nothing. And there goes that 50K.
That's true.
Wow.
So now I want probably something less than that. Something way less.
Is that what you wanted, Hugo?
That was
No,
awesome. I love that.
Thomas,
Great
you didn't
job.
feel
Hey,
bad,
everyone,
did
please
you?
give a big round of applause to Cheryl. She was amazing, okay?
Thank you, Cheryl.
Very, very cool. That was very impressive, Cheryl. So guys, now you can understand why, she's done incredibly well in real estate, wholesaling in particular, and how she was able to achieve a six-figure wholesale deal. So it is just huge. So guys, now let's move on to
And just
the
so you know,
next
Hugo, on that one,
topic, because this
I
is
I
getting
asked
more
the
exciting.
I
So I'm
asked the
going to
seller
share
what
my
she
screen,
wanted, and I
because
gave it.
the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to ask you one question. Would you like to learn from the best so that you can replicate, you can mimic her success, Cheryl's success? Raise your hand if you are excited to learn from the top and the best. Did I
Yes.
hear a yes? Everyone, perfect, awesome. So this is what we're gonna do, friends, for you. Since pretty much all of you stayed until the end, if you wanna become part of our Deal Vault Insider wholesaling team, tonight is the chance, okay? So how do you go about doing that? I'm gonna explain to you in the next 2 minutes, but first of all, I'm gonna share with you what we're gonna do for you, okay? So I'm gonna quickly show you on the screen, and this is gonna help answer some of your questions from the webinar. So this is what we're gonna do for you. We're gonna give you free training, and this is gonna be once a week, held by Cheryl, every Tuesday, 6:30. We're gonna give you the seller scripts for you to build rapport. We're gonna give you the contracts. We have even put together a nurturing campaign in our CRM to follow up with your seller leads. We will also give you free leads, pre-foreclosures, high equity. On top of it, you guys were asking, in this case, Thomas, how do I come up with the number, the offer? Worry no more, Thomas, or anybody who joins the team. We on the back end are going to do the number crunching for you. We're going to analyze the deal. We're going to look at the equity and the max allowable offer on the deal. So we're going to do all the groundwork for you. On top of that, we're going to help you with the disposition, meaning once you get it on the contract, you don't need to worry anymore, because we are going to promote that deal to an end buyer, an investor, a cash buyer, okay? So that's called disposition. And we're gonna go 50-50, okay? So if we make 10,000, you get to keep 50% of that, we keep the other 50%. We're gonna give you access to our preferred partners, and if you have a license, you can hang it with us, okay? So pretty much, we wanna make sure that you focus on becoming the best at what you just saw Cheryl do. Building rapport, understanding the owner's motivation, and getting the property in the contract, okay? So we're gonna give you everything that includes a manual training, a manual that contains the scripts. Somebody was asking about the scripts. So we have the scripts. We have a one-sheet repair estimate. Somebody was asking about the rehab. We're going to show you this in one page, okay? This shows you, gives you an idea. I'm pulling that up on the screen now. How to easily come up with an estimate, okay? It's a one page. Okay, so it shows quickly how much the rehab is going to be. It's taking a while to show on the screen. Okay, finally it's showing on the screen. One pager, okay, for you to get up to speed on analyzing the rehab estimate. If we go back to the training manual, we give you the contracts. So we're gonna give you the purchase contract, we're gonna give you the assignment contracts, we're gonna explain to you how and when to use every single one of them. Not only that, but we will also give you the leads. So I'm gonna pull up on the screen the leads right now. So our team is analyzing off-market deals, pre-foreclosures, high equity. So we're gonna give you the owner's contact information, the property address. We're gonna tell you the max allowed offer, so the most you can pay for the property or offer. We're gonna analyze the property in detail and give you an area analysis report as well. So here in this case, you're gonna put your name if you're working with that particular lead. So it's super, super powerful. We'll give you the leads. And this is the roster of the current team. So we put together this team in the last week and a half. We already have 30 people as part of the ChicagoDealVault Insider Circle wholesaling team. Okay, so if you're interested in being part of them, All it takes is to have an active membership with Chicago DealVault. You can do the monthly or the yearly. So Phil is on the line. We can help you sign up for it. And we're going to have you fill out these profiling forms so that we get to know you better. So we're interested in, obviously, your contact information, your experience in real estate, whether you're licensed, what your goals for 2021 are, and the areas you're interested in investing. Okay, so we'll have that for you, and we share that with the team. So these are the members, and they have we share their answers with the entire team, because all of us are working together to be the best wholesalers, and led by Cheryl Stewart. Believe me, guys, working with the top, shadowing the best, you are going to have success. Okay, obviously you have to put time into it, but we are putting the infrastructure together for you, so you focus only on one single thing, just to mimic the way Cheryl built Rapport with Tom. Just in the role playing that she just did, that's what we want to make sure you focus on, being the best at working with the owners and getting the properties on the contract. So having said that, if you're interested in being part of the team and working with Cheryl directly, please let us know. Send us an email to support@chicagodealvault.com, and we're going to help you get started, sign up for it. Again, you need a valid membership. Either you do the monthly or the yearly. If you're already a DealVault member, it's free for you to join, okay? So please send us an email to support@chicagodealvault.com, and we're going to be able to get you started ASAP. Cheryl, do you have anything else to share with the team?
Well, you know me, like I like to help and give them what they need. See, it's not about me. It's about what they need. So if nobody's talking to me, it's hard for me to offer. Do you feel I missed something?
I think you did a wonderful job, Cheryl. This is Marie. Yeah, I think the role play really helped, because coming up with a lot of different strategies, and that's what I would call them, as strategies, that you mentioned, and those we don't have because we've never done it. So a lot of us can't think that fast on our feet at times to know what's the best strategy, or what are they looking for. Give them, do a subject to, do this, do that. I mean, you're kind of, trying to find, and maybe that's why you said, just let it go and tell them you'll call them later again, because that'll give you time to think about what kind of strategy you want to use based on what they told you, the information that you got. Yeah, so that was very
I think
good.
we forget we're human, right? Like you don't.
Well, I don't know about that, but I think we just don't know all the strategies that are available to us, that we can do. The subject to is a good idea, but, there's other ways. And, if you think just of other people's money, there's just things that we have not encountered that we don't know. And that.
Well, and Marie, that's that it's good to recognize. And the thing is, you're not expected to have all the answers, right? You can always work with people to get it done. But until you talk to the seller and really understand and find out what's going on, you don't have a solution to offer. And I think people get so caught up in wanting to have that solution and wanting to be perfect. It's like I tell my kids who are in plays and stuff, like, if you screw up, keep going. You guys are the only ones that know what you're supposed to say and what you're supposed to do. No one else does, right? So therefore, just keep going. Nobody's going to know any different. So same thing with like Thomas. I didn't even have a script in front of me, right? I got thrown in on the spot, and it happens. I mean, what's to say you're not going to be out somewhere and somebody sees your business card, or they end up talking? Do you know that a couple weeks ago, I was at my husband's dental office, and I'm not there that often, so it's funny that I'm talking about it. And somebody was talking about their house, and I ended up talking to him, and he didn't know until after that I was married to the dentist, right? He's just a patient at the office. And he started talking to me, and I'm like, oh, you should have called me. You know, I do this. And we were just chatting. I gave him my card, and I kid you not, a week later, he referred somebody to me. And he's like, he was going to an agent later that day. It was kind of embarrassing. He's like, I would have gone with you if you'd told me before. And of course, I wasn't an agent yet, and I don't even know how it all worked out there. But I bought that house, and that one I did take subject to the mortgage. And I paid to fix it up. There were no back payments, and I already have a rent to own contract on that house. So, and that came just because I happened to be wandering in my husband's office and overheard somebody talking about a house. So, Marie, we have to be ready at any time. And that's why I'm telling you, like, no one expects you to know everything and have everything. I mean, look, I had that first one. I told her, I don't know, I never not performed before. Well, that was true, right? So it's like, you can take a deep breath, just get to know them, see what they need, what they're trying to accomplish. And if you help solve the problem, nobody's going to care if you take a little time. I mean, in Thomas's case, he's going to lose the house if I don't help him, right? So yeah, I'm forced to think a little faster, but 24 hours isn't going to hurt him. And then that's where the either this wholesaling group or Chicago Deal Vault, you're going to have some resources that you can reach out to some people and partner with, because if you can, and I don't know you from anyone, Marie, but if you can barely get it under contract, or you don't know what to get it under contract for, or you can only do it cheap for cash and you can only wholesale, but if the house doesn't qualify for a wholesale, what do? You have to pass it along, and at least you'll still solve the person's problem. You may only make a referral fee, but I would say that's better than nothing, right? Like and you're helping the person, and now you're going to get a referral, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. But that really helped with the role play. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it really worked well. Yeah.
So Cheryl, how do we find out if a house isn't eligible for wholesale?
Well, the reason I would say it's not eligible for wholesale, Thomas, is because if they don't have equity, and the person, like in your case, and I don't know if it was true or a story or a scenario you came up with on the spot, so thanks for thinking fast. But if a house, for sake of even numbers, if a house is worth $100,000 as it sits, right, and their mortgage is 98, well, what are you going to do? They're going to have money to close that thing, right? Especially because we pay taxes in arrears here in Chicagoland, right? So they're going to have to bring money to close. Well, if you already lost your job in your scenario due to the pandemic, or your hours are decreased and you're behind on your mortgage, that house doesn't qualify, in my opinion, for, at best, you're going to have to short sale, and there's nothing short about a short sale, as we all know, right? So, or you're going to end up losing it to foreclosure. So that would be a house. And I shouldn't say that it doesn't qualify for wholesaling, because that's actually not true, because I'm creative, right? You take it subject to the mortgage and sell or finance it out to somebody. There's all sorts of fun things you could do. So technically it just doesn't qualify for cheap for cash, and like a traditional wholesale where you want to get it cheap and sell it to somebody for more than what you bought it for. That makes sense. Where they still have room to fix it and sell it, or fix it and rent it. Those kinds of
makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cheryl.
So thank you very much, Cheryl. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I look forward to hearing from all of you who are interested in joining our internal wholesaling team from Chicago DealVault, led by Cheryl. We're super excited. This is the most important project for 2021 for Chicago DealVault. So we are allocating all our resources to this team, okay? So we're super excited to make a big footprint now, and obviously 2021. So if you're interested, this is the team to be, and we are looking forward to having you on board. Are there any other questions on the line?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Cheryl was very helpful.
Yeah, no, she's awesome. Okay, Amazing. So guys, if you want to work side by side with Cheryl, please let us know, and we'll get you started. Next Tuesday, 6:30 is the next meeting, okay, our second official meeting. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Cheryl, for your time tonight. You were, as always, amazing. I greatly appreciate your time.
Thanks, Hugo. I appreciate you welcoming me here, and thanks everybody for hanging. And thanks, Thomas, for being brave.
Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate it a lot. Trust me.
Awesome, guys. Okay, so Phil and myself will remain on the line for the next couple of minutes in case you have any questions or you need any help. But otherwise, I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, 1 p.m. We're going to be talking about money, finances, okay, how to build a rental portfolio. So I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, 1 p.m. And I look forward to hearing from all of you who are interested in doing wholesales in 2021. So have a wonderful evening. Thank you everyone for joining.